Well, fellas, we have an exceptionally busy update on our hands here. Update 13.5 is bringing us not one, not two, not three, but 9 events over the course of its runtime. That is one event shy of having essentially an event every single week of this update. Now, these events are bringing some of the most highly anticipated and demanded ships to the game finally. We're getting the Johnston in full release. We're getting the Rhode Island back in re-release. And we are potentially getting one of the most sought after premium ships back in the game finally. Maybe we'll get there when we get there. But since this is such a busy update, we're going to go through the update notes and discuss what you need to know to get the most out of this update. If you're looking for something in particular, you can check out the timeline down below. Chapters are set up, so if you want to hear about the Johnston or the Rhode Island or whatever, you can find it in the timeline down below. Again, lots of events to go through in this update, but if you want to check out the update notes for yourself, you can check out the link in the description down below. It'll take you straight to the update article where you can also acquire a free day of premium time just by looking through the article. You can just scroll right through, open up all the little subheadings, and it's usually like in the middle or somewhere. Big orange button, you click it, you get a free day of premium time courtesy of Wargaming. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the update notes for update 13.5. If you find this video helpful, informational, or entertaining, please make sure to click that like and subscribe button down below. It helps on the YouTube side of things. So, starting from the top, of course, the D-Day operations do continue. We are getting the Defense of the Atlantic Wall event in this update and the Omaha Beach Assault. So, for the Defense of the Atlantic Wall, they say, Utah Beach set the Allied invasion in motion, but you can now experience the events from the Axis perspective. Helm German Tier 5 to 7 destroyers in a desperate attempt to repel the Allied onslaught as their invasion fleet approaches the Normandy shores. Special rental ships will be with unusual configurations will be provided to all players, so even if you own suitable ships for the operation, we still advise you try to use them. The operation's main goal is to defend the coast against the Allies, and to achieve this, you'll need to heavily rely on the drop minefield consumable that all destroyers will be equipped with. And then for the Omaha Beach Assault, which begins on June 26th. By the way, the Atlantic Wall defense begins, well, today, the day this video goes up. It runs through June 26th, which is when the Omaha Beach Assault takes over. They say 2 weeks into update 13.5, you'll experience the glorious finale of the event with the Omaha Beach Assault operation. In terms of the battle timeline, the events unfold mere minutes after the Atlantic Wall defense operation. Once again, on the Allied side, you'll be tasked with saving the stranded crews of disabled Allied ships and breaching the walls of Fortress Europe to bring victory within the grasp of the continent's occupied nations. Classified documents are available in the D-Day operations, and you can select which ones to bring into battle with you to gain additional combat bonuses against specific enemy types. The documents come in 3 secrecy levels: confidential, secret, and top secret. Each new secrecy level you unlock grants an additional bonus to the existing classified documents in your possession. A new section, the dedicated reward track, unlocks at the start of each operation. Complete secondary tasks and operations to earn the stars necessary to progress along the track and earn valuable rewards, including permanent camouflages for the Baltimore and the Jervis, in the Ruse of War and Sword of Freedom patches, and British Commander William Tennant. If you continue earning stars and unlocking extra levels of the reward track, you'll earn 1 D-Day container for each level. Alright, so the D-Day operations will finally come to an end with this update, but I mean, it's going to run for, again, pretty much the entire update. So the first one was pretty fun. It can be a little frustrating at times, especially with the minefields and the Schnell boots, and, well, a lot of times the friendly teammates just kind of perish, unfortunately, because the minefields are pretty rough, surprisingly so. I believe that is what they're testing out at the end of the day with this D-Day operation. But overall, I think it's been a pretty fun, pretty cool event. One of the more in-depth and kind of slower-paced operations. So I'm eager to try out the next part once that does go live tomorrow. Today for you guys. I film these videos usually a day or two in advance. All right, up next on deck is our second event after the D-Day event, we have the Summer Festival with, I believe this is where you can get those two lovely ladies that were talked about a couple of weeks ago. So this begins also today on June 12th. They say during update 13.5, we're introducing a new event pass fully dedicated to the summer holidays. We've prepared 2 progression lines full of delicious summer treats. You could say that again. Notable rewards in the first progression line include the beach party flag, the summer permanent camouflage, picnic by the sea, and distant voyage containers, plus our new treasure of the sea premium container. Step up your rewards even more by unlocking the second progression line for 2,500 doubloons. This will bring you even more summer mementos, Blue Lagoon and Brazilian permanent camouflages, the Gold Eagle permanent camouflage for Minnesota and Kansas, and more containers, plus the Tier 6 premium Pan-American destroyer, the Wara, which I don't think a whole lot of people bought that ship when it came out, so it's just kind of a gimme premium. After unlocking all the available levels, each extra level beyond the 20th will earn you 1 more signal container and 1 rare bonus container for the first and second progression lines, respectively. Since summer is all about taking it easy and relaxing, the extra levels will be much easier to reach. You only need 25 points for each. What's more, the weekly missions will only require 5,000 base XP, and you can complete them 5 times to earn 25 points in total. The premium shop and Armory will also surprise you with a variety of offers dedicated to Summer Festival, so don't forget to check them out too. And they note that the PEGI rating for the European players have been increased from 7 to 12. That got increased because of, again, I'm pretty sure those 2 ladies, which turns out, yeah, there's an amount of boob that will get your rating increased. But yeah, okay, so, yep, I mean, get what you can out of the event for free is what I say, and I believe those 2 ladies will be able to be acquired in the Armory. They say this event will have a separate article, so I'm assuming they'll explain that there, but it is not out just yet. Alright, Clan Battles is of course returning, well, I should say continuing. We had that little mini season that just ended, so it's coming back in this update. It begins on June 16th and goes through August 5th. And Brawls is also returning as well, begins on June 17th and goes through June 24th. It's 5v5 with Tier 8 destroyers, cruisers, and battleships. And apparently no CVs and no subs, so that should be a good time for those that do not enjoy the underwater class. Alright, the Armory, the trade-in event is continuing. I know I didn't do a video on that. I was on vacation when that started, so that's what happened with that. I'll probably be getting one out later this week, but it continues until June 20th. So if you're wondering about that, there you go. The Beautiful Game event, our 4th event so far, begins on June 27th and goes through July 21st. So they say football takes center stage in many people's lives during summer. And if you're a fan, we invite you to gather around a virtual table and try to guess the results of the matches. You can complete simple daily missions to earn football tokens and then use these to guess the outcome of the next match. If you correctly guess a match result, you'll progress along the reward track. If not, you'll still get 102,024 credits for your participation. The available rewards includes credits, permanent and expendable economic bonuses, and containers with signals, camouflages, and a guaranteed premium ship drop. The players who see most accurately into the future will receive a ship for free from those available for coal or doubloons in the Armory. Actual gambling at this point. But the rewards don't end there. If you complete 5 daily missions, you'll be rewarded with Commander Marco, I'm going to murder this man's last name, Materazzi? It wasn't so bad, maybe, who has an individual voiceover. Completing 15 missions will make you a true football enthusiast and bring you a fitting reward. A special commemorative flag to proudly display your love of football to friends and foes alike. So there you go for you football or soccer fans. And our 5th event, the Three Kingdoms event, which is starting June 19th and runs through the end of the update July 10th. A beloved tale about one of the most turbulent periods in Chinese history returns to World of Warships. Meet new commanders. Oh man, I should have practiced these beforehand. New commanders Zhuge Liang and Zhao Yu, both with individual voiceovers. Sell new Pan-Asian Tier 8 destroyer Zhu Kui and Tier 9 battleship Xuan Wu. Zhu Kui is a kid, Xuan Wu is a Iowa. And get ready to earn up to 3 Oh, yeah. Three kingdoms containers. Oh, that's going to mess me up. Plus signal flags and economic bonuses just by playing the game. The content from last time is also returning, so make sure to check out the Army and Premium shop and grab it while you can. So, yeah. If you want a new premium kid and a new premium Iowa that can't use the improved American Battleship Dispersion module, which could lead to some pretty interesting gameplay, you can check out that event. And now our sixth event, right? The U.S. Independence Day event, which starts on July 3rd and runs through July 24th. They say fireworks, liberty, parades. We're celebrating the 248th anniversary, so many years, of U.S. independence, with combat missions and patriotic bundles in World of Warships. Complete mission chains to earn independence tokens, and then spend these in a special Armory category. You can earn enough tokens via the missions to get the rewards from the first steps from a special set of sequential bundles in the Armory. These hold a Commander flag for California, expendable economic bonuses, Commander Leroy Jenkins with 10 skill points, and at the end of the bundle sequence, the California, for only 2,900 dubs, which you're still paying for the California, so I think that's a ripoff. California's not an overly good ship in my mind. They did buff her recently, but I wouldn't worry too much about getting her, right? I mean, 2,900 dubs, it's a discounted price, so there is that, but I don't like it. Alternatively, you can spend your tokens on 30 Wings of Freedom containers, or you can add Commander John Doe with 10 skill points and Commander George Doe with 10 skill points to your roster. But the freedom doesn't stop there. Much coveted U.S. Tier 10 battleship Rhode Island and new destroyer Johnston will be available for purchase in the Armory for doubloons, as well as in the premium shop. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Rhode Island is returning just for outright cash, as is the Johnston. Well, not just outright cash in the premium shop, but you can buy them for doubloons in the Armory. So that means if you're sitting on like a nice stockpile of doubloons, you can find these ships essentially for a discounted price. Well, I mean, you had to buy those doubloons in the first place. Maybe if you've been, slowly gathering up the free doubloons they give you throughout the years, now's your time to shine. Rhode Island is, of course, a very, very, very good Tier 10 American battleship. I will be releasing my review for it for once before the ship actually releases, so that'll be pretty interesting. So probably July 2nd or July 1st, that review will go up. The Johnston, from what I've heard, it's kind of a slightly better Fletcher. Again, I haven't played it yet because I'm not a CC, so I don't know about it yet. But I am very happy that Wargaming is just releasing it like normal, and they're not putting it in some gambling container event or some sequential bundle or some random bundle event, and you can just buy it. Although she will be in containers if you do want to gamble for her. But again, I would recommend just buying her outright because you can get the ship outright. You don't have to worry about, tempting fate and acquiring her. So that's my suggestion to you. Of course, we'll be releasing my review for the Johnston once she is released on July 3rd. Well, probably it's going to be like July 4th or July 5th once I have some time to play her and get a grasp of her. But yeah, no, good job there, Wargaming, with releasing the Johnston as normal and finally bringing the Rhode Island back to the game. Remember, fellas, Rhode Island is a big cruiser and not a small battleship. All right, moving on to our seventh event. Man, I'm losing track of how many events we have. Out of the friggin' blue, we're getting a Star Trek crossover. Yeah, and particularly Star Trek: The Next Generation, which that's very interesting because The Next Generation, that's the big Star Trek show. Like the original Star Trek series, the original series, it's kind of a cult classic, and it is the thing that got the ball rolling. But The Next Generation is, what really got Star Trek going in the 80s when it came out. It ran for 7 seasons, too. The first show, I think, ran for only 5 seasons or 4 seasons. The Next Generation is, again, what really kind of brought Star Trek into the mainstream. Then you got the spinoffs, Deep Space Nine and Voyager off of that. So that's interesting to me. That's pretty cool. I'm a big Star Trek nerd, and I'm a big Next Generation nerd. The Enterprise D is one of my most favorite sci-fi ships of all time. So this is where I think we might be seeing the return of the Enterprise, because how in the world do you have a Star Trek crossover without the Enterprise? That doesn't make any sense, in my opinion. Now, on top of this as well, just by it being Star Trek and the Enterprise, that's the whole point of the main series is the ship's the Enterprise. You follow the voyages of the Enterprise around. That's how it works, right? There is an Instagram ad that I saw when I was scrolling through it this morning where they have silhouettes of the commanders that are coming to the game. You have a Klingon commander, could be one of several characters from the show. You have Jean-Luc's 100% there in his silhouette form, and what I'm assuming is old Spock, and then someone in the background that I'm not 100% sure on who that is. But then in front of these commanders, there are silhouettes of ships that obviously have some type of Star Trek-esque camouflage scheme going on there. If you look in front of who I'm assuming is Jean-Luc Picard's silhouette, who's the captain of the Enterprise and Star Trek The Next Generation, you have an aircraft carrier there and some type of Star Trek-esque camo, so you can't really tell exactly which one it is. You can tell at the end of the flight deck there's this round oval shape, which I'm assuming is going to be the saucer section from the Enterprise D, and that big oval shape. The Galaxy class has that giant oval saucer, which looks really cool. So if that's not the Enterprise, then this is just a travesty of an event. And it might be, they might do this because they've done this in the past where it's like you get the commander, and you get a skin for a ship that makes it into another ship, like with the Azura Lane, New Jersey. You can put that on the Iowa, and now it looks like New Jersey, right? It's got the whole number and stuff, but it's still in Iowa. So if we're giving comps out and they introduce some skin for like the Lexington that turns it into the Enterprise, right? Then this is a travesty, because it's high time that the Enterprise really does come back. It's not overpowered by any stretch of the imagination now. It is still a pretty strong premium ship in my premium carrier in my opinion, but we have far worse carriers, right? And she's gone through so many global changes that, again, the Enterprise herself isn't really that powerful anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, again, it's still one of the better Tier 8 premium aircraft carriers, but it's not what it used to be back in the day by any stretch of the imagination. So this would be an interesting way to bring it back, right? Is that going to happen? I don't know. They don't have the details available about this yet at all. I'm judging by how they aren't really letting us see the ships and the commanders, that they're not quite done just yet. It does begin on June 26th, so they have the rest of June to kind of put the final touches on the commanders and on the ships that they're bringing in this update. So we'll see by hopefully pretty soon what's going on. But I don't know, something about this crossover just gives me feelings that like they just got like the final details done and now they can really start working on the in-game content. So yeah, but Star Trek, again, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I'm really interested to see what this brings to the game. And hopefully we'll see the return of the Enterprise. Again, how do you have a Star Trek crossover without the Enterprise when you have a ship in-game called Enterprise, right? But I guess we'll see what happens there. All right. Next up, we have another 3 crossover events that are returning to the game. The Popeye event's returning on July 3rd. The Megadeath crossover event is returning on June 19th. And then the Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is returning on June 12th. So again, a lot of these, a couple of these, the Popeye event crosses over with the Megadeath event, and I think the Star Trek event as well. No, it ends just before the Star Trek event. But yeah, I don't know. Well, actually, I do know what's going on here. The summer is a slow time for World of Warships. If you look at the player population graphs, it ebbs and flows. It looks like a roller coaster if you're looking at it. And summer is one of the low points for player population in game across all servers. Why? People are out and about. They're going on vacation. In fact, I just got back from vacation today. Well, late last night. So I was gone for a week, right? So players are out and about in real life, touching grass. So in game, they usually spam a bunch of events in the summer to try and retain what players they can during the summer, because obviously people aren't playing the game. Game is not making any money. So recycling these previous events makes sense business wise, right? Yeah, these events, which some of them are quite popular, right? So you can bring people back to the game, get stuff that they missed out when these events went live during the year. So yeah, makes sense in my mind, but like I said, it's going to be a very, very busy update, and there are, you know, ways you can acquire stuff in these updates for free. So what I would just do when these events are live, see what you got to do in order to acquire whatever they're offering in these events, and pick up what you can for free, and then move on about your day. So fellas, that is update 13.5. Which we're getting world of crossovers and events with this update. So let me know what you guys are excited for in this update in the comments down below. I'm excited for the Johnston, of course. That's been a long time favorite ship of mine. I'm finally happy to see it make its way into the game for a normal premium, right? You can just buy it in the shop for once. So again, let me know what you guys are excited for in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday, wonderful rest of your week. I hope to catch you guys in the next one.